What's up, YouTube? Welcome to LaceUp channel. I'm Mickey, and today I'm going to explain to you why you must have a DSD software in your distribution business. So there's 5 reasons why you should buy a solution like this. Now, it's not necessarily our solution. These are the benefits you're going to get from any DSD software in the industry. So point number 1, you're going to eliminate useless, meaningless, time-wasting data entry. What do I mean by that? Let's say you have 15 drivers, hypothetically, right? And each of those drivers makes 10 invoices every single day. That's 150 invoices that your company makes a day. Now let's say that those drivers bring that stack of 150 invoices and give it to you. You now have to go and take all those invoices and key them in by hand into the accounting system. Assuming that you take 1 minute per invoice, that's 150 minutes or 2.5 hours to key in all your invoices. Think about what you or one of your employees can do with 2.5 hours of their time. Okay. Think about the cost of a software like ours, which is not astronomical, versus the savings of having that time to produce money, income, revenue for your business. Okay, so that's point number 1. The reason why you want to buy one of these solutions is because you eliminate the data entry. Point number 2 is that you eliminate the errors on the invoices. So there's 2 places that you can make errors when doing invoices by hand. The first place is you can make the errors out in the field. So for instance, let's say you're writing an invoice and you make an error on the item that you wrote down. Or let's say you're making an invoice and you make an error on the price you wrote down. Okay, those are 2 potential places where you can really mess up the invoice, but not only that, you can put a wedge in your relationship with the customer. Why? What happens if you sell customer A, product A, when it should have been product B? Not only that, but what happens if you sell customer A product A at price A, but price should have been price B, right? Now you've messed up the price, so the customer is gonna ask you, hey, why did you give me that price? Okay, so the first place where you can mess up with your data is out in the field when you're writing the invoice by hand. The second place is when you take that big stack of invoices and you're keying in items. What happens if you key in the wrong item? Or what happens if you key in the wrong price? So if you key in the right item or the wrong item, for example, what's going to happen is you're going to be over on the item that should have been keyed, and you're going to be short on the item that you did key. So you're going to mess up your inventory. That's on the inventory side. On the money side, obviously, the cash that you collect at some point down the road will not match the total of the invoice, meaning that you're going to have partial payments and payments that you can't reconcile in your accounting system. So the second reason why you need a DSD software is so you eliminate all the errors on your data entry. Now let's go to reason number 3. Okay, so reason number 3 is a little more technical. The third reason why you need a system like this is because you need a system that's going to allow you to minimize the amount of credits that you do. So traditionally, credits are done when you sell product to a customer or that customer is not moving a good volume of that product. Credits also happen when you sell too much of a product to a customer, right? Meaning that you oversell, okay? And what you want to do is you want to minimize the amount of credits, because at the end of the day, your profit is your revenue minus your cost minus your credits equals your profit. So by decreasing credits, you increase profits. Okay, so with a system like this, you'll be able to report on how many credits you're having for a customer. You're going to report on what customers aren't moving any product. And you're going to at least have some intelligence to be able to determine whether or not you should continue to sell product to a customer or whether or not you should pull the product out of the store. Okay, so reason number 3 is you're going to minimize the credits. Reason number 4 is you're going to be able to track all the inventory that goes on and off a truck. So let me give you an example. I've got some customers that have over 3,000 items on a truck at a given time. Now imagine having to track all that by hand. For instance, people who track inventory by hand on a truck basically take into account what they loaded out on the truck. Then, when the driver gets back, they have to calculate how much of that item they sold, They have to calculate how much of that item were good returns, so returns from the customer that went back into inventory, and the output would be how much items or how many items are left at the end of the day on the truck. So basically you go load out minus sales plus good returns equals ending inventory. Okay. Now imagine having to do that for 3,000 items. You'd never get the job done. A system like this is going to allow you to automatically calculate what went on the truck, what came off the truck, what was returned, and what was left over. So now instead of focusing on doing all the math, what you're going to be focusing on is counting the inventory to make sure that the driver didn't short you or steal from you. Okay, so reason number 4, you get full inventory control on the trucks. Reason number 5, and even more importantly, is you get full control on the drivers. So what do I mean by that? When you have drivers out in the field servicing a customer, you need to be able to track how much time they spent at the customer, and you need to be able to track where they went during the day. For example, a few months back, we caught one of the drivers of our customers at his home during the day. So basically, he'd run his route, go to lunch, and then after lunch, he'd be at home for 2 hours. Now, the reason why we caught him is because the route was taking way too long for the amount of volume that he was generating. Okay, so the customer asked us, hey, can we view this guy on a map? Which obviously it's a feature that we have. We were able to show the customer, the driver on the map. The customer sat there all day and viewed the driver and saw that the driver spent 2 hours off his route at his house, wasting the customer's time, money, and resources in the middle of the route when the driver should have been out there making sales and making deliveries. Okay, so we were able to locate the driver for the customer and show the customer exactly where the driver was. Now also, you want to be able to track the clock in and clock out times. And the reason why you want to do this is so that you can see how long the driver was at the store and whether or not the amount of time he spent at the store justifies the size of the invoice, right? If you have a $1 invoice, okay, and the guy spent 3 hours there, how does that make any sense to continue doing? The driver's, again, wasting time and wasting resources where that time and resources could be better spent elsewhere, making larger sales for a lower amount of time to increase your profit. Okay, so reason number 5 is that DSD software is going to give you full control of the drivers. Okay, now those are 5 real quick reasons why everybody in the wholesale DSD food and beverage industry should have a DSD software. Now I advocate again that you look at all the solutions in the marketplace and pick the one that's best for your business. I definitely recommend doing that and spending the time and investing it to make sure that the software that you pick is going to take care of those 5 points. So I want to thank you for watching me on this channel today. I hope you learned something. If you need anything or if you have any questions, reach out to us. Hit me in the comments below. I'll respond personally with answers to your questions. I look forward to seeing you next video. Take care.